Everybody knows that in most situations, less is more. Your accessories, eating habits, and especially when it comes to your CV. Job seekers do themselves a disservice when they send out CVs with too much information. Employers don't have the time or the patience to sift through irrelevant information like your hobbies or your interests or how many grandchildren you have. Just stick to the basics and you're good to go. In this video, I'm going to give you the top 10 things you must leave out of your resume. If you follow my advice, you'll find that your resume will get much more attention. Before I get to that top 10 list, please take a moment to like our video and subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll learn when we add more job search tips and advice. So here are the top 10 things to leave off your resume and why. Number 1. Your picture. Unless a job posting specifically asks for your picture, and very few jobs will, don't include it just for fun. Not only are your looks irrelevant to your potential employer, but you're putting employers in a bad spot. If they have a picture of you and choose not to hire you, they worry that you could come back with a discrimination lawsuit. In most cases, they'll just throw your resume away without looking at it to avoid the issue altogether. Number 2, interests and hobbies. Unless your interests and hobbies have something to do with the job you're applying for, there's no reason to include them in your resume. If you want to show how your passion for art would be an asset to a graphic design position, well, that's one thing. But telling employers that you love the skydive on an actuary application is really something else. In general, make any application connections between your hobbies and the job in your cover letter. Better yet, save them for the interview when you're asked, what do you like to do outside of work? Number 3, spelling mistakes and grammatical errors. Most employers assume that if you're okay with sending out a resume littered with typos and mistakes, you'll have the same lack of concern for the work you do as an employee at their company. While spell check picks up most errors, it can miss something major. Have several eyes look over your resume before sending it out to employers to avoid spelling mistakes and grammatical errors. Number 4, personal attributes. This is similar to sending a picture with your resume. Things like your height, weight, age, race, or religion are all unimportant and irrelevant to an employer. Though it's illegal for employers to discriminate against applicants because of any of these factors, some still do it regardless. Keep everything on your resume pertinent to the job and you'll be fine. Number 5, references. Many job seekers still include references on their resume, or they include a line that says references available upon request. This tactic is not as effective as it used to be. Jack Harsh, adjunct professor at the University of Richmond Robbins School of Business, says that when he receives a resume with references attached, he gives them virtually no weight. Jack says they seldom are specific to the role my company seeks and are not meaningful in considering qualifications or traits of successful candidates. Wait to broach the topic of references until you're asked for them. Number 6, minute details. Hiring managers don't need to know the details of every task you've ever done in every job you've ever had. It's just too much information, and usually half of that information isn't relevant to the job you're applying to. Employers want to be able to see at first glance that you're a great candidate. So pick out those details that are most relevant to the job for which you're applying and forget the rest. Number 7, and this is a big one, false information. Plain and simple, no one wants to hire a liar. Don't say that you have a master's degree if you've only earned your bachelor's. And don't say you're presently employed at a company if you've recently been fired or laid off. Don't list your salary history as 20% higher than what it actually was. Everything you tell an employer can be verified, so play it safe and be honest. Number 8, flair. No one wants to look at a resume on fluorescent paper, covered in crazy fonts and symbols. Similarly, links to personal websites, your photo sharing site, or strange or provocative email addresses can also be left off. Employers are less likely to respond to likes2party@email.com than to just dmiller@email.com. Number 9, negativity. Never put anything negative on your resume. Don't include your reasons for leaving. If you left a position due to a layoff, or if you were fired, for example, bring it up only if asked. Never write anything bad about a previous employer. Don't explain gaps in your resume by stating you were in prison for 10 years for killing your husband. Keep your resume all positive all the time. And finally, number 10, a selfish objective statement. Employers are trying to determine whether you're a good fit for their organization. So everything on your resume should point to your experience. Employers would rather see a summary of qualifications that displays your accomplishments and background than a generic objective statement like, to gain experience in blank. As you update your resume, keep these 10 things in mind that you should never put on your resume. And if you like what you hear, be sure to subscribe and like this video. You can search thousands of jobs at our website at www.jobzons.com.